I never saw this land when it was green, before the drought came. He always believed in the land.
Don't worry about me.
I'll never worry about you. I'll worry about your sister.
You don't have what it takes to convince those watermen to irrigate this land.
I want to talk to you about something. I'm thinking I could try and get some of that water down here.
Welcome to Screen Recaps, and today we are going to recapping the movie Young Ones. In a future where the USA suffers from a severe drought, people are desperate for water, often resorting to violence. Most have left, but the Holm family remains, believing that with water, their land can thrive again. One day, Ernest Holm catches two thieves trying to break into his farm. He shoots them when they try to retaliate, and his son Jerome witnesses the incident. Despite Jerome's offer to help, Ernest tells him to call him Dad. The thieves had targeted a building with a water pump, but it yields no water, forcing them to continue without hydration. They trade with the watermen, who control water distribution, but their prices are too high for regular supply. On their return, their mule is injured, and Ernest has to shoot it. Back home, Jerome's sister Mary serves food, and their routine continues until Ernest discovers Mary meeting her secret boyfriend. The next day, they buy a robot mule at an auction, worsening their debt, and visit their injured mother Catherine in the hospital. Despite the dire situation, they return home, encountering neighbors whom Ernest dismisses as opportunists. After filling the tank at a gas station, Ernest takes a sip to round up the price and brings some water back to Robbie and his family. They contemplate selling their baby due to financial struggles, but Ernest advises against it, promising to help with water. Back at the farm, Flem, Mary's secret boyfriend, arrives and asks to borrow Sim, the robot mule, promising to pay rent. Ernest refuses without a guarantee from Sam, offending Flem, who leaves, vowing the land will never be irrigated. The next time Ernest and Jerome meet the watermen, they make good time thanks to Sim. Ernest begins negotiating for a water line on his farm and starts digging out the old pump for inspection. He advises Jerome to socialize more, but Jerome prefers family duties. They see Flem speeding by on their way home. At the farm, Mary washes clothes using a vacuum cleaner with cleaning agent. Ernest forbids her from going out, leading to a heated argument where Mary claims Ernest hates her father and loves Flem. She tries to run away, but Jerome intercepts her, allowing Ernest to catch up. Mary accuses Ernest of failing their family. Later, they discover Sim has been stolen. Ernest suspects Flem and learns from Sam that Flem left for the mountains. Sam reveals the farm used to belong to his family, and Flem is obsessed with reclaiming it, despite Sam believing the land is infertile. Ernest investigates in the mountains and is knocked out, waking at the waterman's camp where he is accused of theft. Ernest denies it, and a fight ensues. He steals Caleb's knife and rifle, escaping while Caleb threatens him. Ernest finds Flem by a fire with Sim and the stolen supplies. In the morning, he wakes Flem with a rifle in his face, ties him to Sim, and prepares to bring him back. Under the scorching sun, Ernest and Flem continue their trek to find the watermen. Flem taunts Ernest about Mary, prompting Ernest to make him fall as punishment. Desperately thirsty, they stop for a drink, but the supplies only contain alcohol. Ernest, struggling with addiction, gets drunk while Flem pretends to drink. Flem claims he stole the machine to survive and offers Ernest money, which Ernest declines, finding the story suspicious. As Ernest tries to stand, he becomes dizzy and falls, hitting his head on a cliff. He has a flashback of Catherine's car accident caused by his drinking. Later, Flem pours more alcohol into Ernest's mouth, leaving him unconscious. Flem then goes to the farm, and Mary jumps on his bike to escape with him. Jerome, worried about Ernest, goes looking for him. He finds Sim at the watermen's camp, where they tell him Ernest died in an accident. At the funeral, Mary returns, and the siblings mourn together. They visit their mom to share the news. Flem offers to become the new head of the family and help the siblings, revealing Mary is pregnant. He convinces Jerome to let him manage the farm. Flem negotiates with Caleb to install a water pipe, leveraging the blame for Ernest's death. The new pump is installed, and Flem works hard to grow wheat with sprinklers. The family enjoys actual showers, and the land eventually flourishes with plants. To celebrate, Flem and Mary get married, tattooing each other's initials on their hands. During the party, Flem, haunted by Ernest's death, drinks heavily. Days later, Sam arrives with bank officials, revealing Ernest's huge debt. Flem must pay or lose the farm. He takes Sim and picks up Robbie and his baby, determined to find a solution. Flem and Robbie set out to inquire about prices, but Flem plans to sell Robbie's baby. When the buyers refuse to return the baby, a firefight ensues, killing Robbie. Flem escapes, leaving behind the damaged Sim, which activates a mode guiding it back to its factory. The next day, Flem uses the baby money to pay the bank, lying to the siblings about selling Sim to Robbie. Meanwhile, Sim reaches the city and is found by its builder, Calvin, who contacts the farm. Jerome grows suspicious, heads to the local market, and sees Flem with Suze, who is cradling a doll as if it's a baby. Jerome discovers Flem's lies and learns from Sim's recordings that Flem killed Ernest. Distraught, he returns home, questions Flem about Sim's return, and pretends to accept his explanation. Jerome then visits Catherine, promising to care for her. Later, Jerome and Flem go hunting to protect their crops. Flem fails his shots while hunting and blames the rifle, passing it to Jerome. Tempted to shoot Flem, Jerome instead kills a deer, proving the issue is Flem's poor aim. At home, Jerome hides the rifle. During lunch, he claims Robbie called, which unnerves Flem, who denies it. Mary scolds Flem, and Jerome insists, causing Flem to storm out. The next day, Jerome sends Flem a fake letter from Robbie, asking to meet at the cliffs. Flem, searching for the rifle, is told by Jerome that it's being repaired. Apologizing for his outburst, Flem grabs a knife and heads to the cliffs with Sim. He falls into a hidden pit, breaking his legs, and begs Sim for help. Jerome appears holding a rock, making Flem realize he knows the truth. Flem begs for mercy, but Jerome silently watches him suffer. After a desperate speech, Jerome angrily shoots Flem, killing him. He returns home, letting Mary believe Flem abandoned them. With crop money, they afford real food and plan to buy the machine so Catherine can live with them. Jerome erases Sim's footage, ready to start over.
I thought I was doing